How's it going?
So wait, no one had a good
I
intro
had
open.
one, but I forgot. I forgot what it was.
Okay, no, we can think of one on the fly. We're good at this. Okay, but it's been 2 weeks. What have we missed? What have we missed? They're trying to cancel Eminem on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, over. I think it's some
They
lyrics he
did.
had in "Love the Way You Lie."
They
What do you
discovered
say?
his old music. They
Oh
discovered
Lord.
Eminem's
No, they
music.
didn't. I don't even think it's his old music because the old music that they're referencing is like 2010. I'm like, yeah, I don't even.
If that's considered old music, then wow.
Y'all,
I mean, it
my
was
thing is like
11
if
years
that's
ago.
grounds to cancel Eminem, then there's just no chance. Like the minute she gets some of his older songs,
I mean,
Yeah, but
Eminem's been
Eminem's been out.
problematic.
But Eminem's been out for like since '97, since as long as I've been alive.
and he's
Eminem's
just had
been
verses
problematic.
like
He made a diss track about his mom. Like,
and his baby mother. Like he's
Oh,
there's more than
this
enough grounds. It's just that, like if what they're citing is like means to cancel Eminem, it's like y'all are like 6 albums too late.
they announced some more verses. They did one with it was Redman versus Method Man, and now they're doing Ghostface versus Raekwon, which is pretty awesome. So
Wait, when are they doing that?
I don't. They already did the Redman and Method Man one, but the
Yeah, I know they
Ghostface
did that one,
Raekwon
but
one is coming. That's crazy. They killing it, bro. That's like perfect. That's like perfect. That's just gonna be a bunch of Wu-Tang stands going crazy.
mhm.
It's like Wu-Tang. That's all it's
and now that I see that they're getting some sponsorships, it looks like the artists are making money off of verses too. I was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
So like, good for them.
Oh, also, I don't know if y'all saw this. Speaking of Wu-Tang, they like released a book. It's called the rarest hip hop book in the world ever, or something like that in history.
Wait, it's called that, or it is the rarest hip hop book?
I don't know, but I think because they're only releasing like 100 copies. Why does Wu-Tang do this? Because remember they did that with the album, and then Martin
They made one. They made
they
one
made one
album.
album,
And
which is
the
stupid.
Pharma Bro
The
guy,
Farmer Bro
did,
bought it,
like
and
he
he
got
played
it.
a little bit on streaming, and he was like just a troll.
Yeah.
What if it's not good? And he says like it probably is, but like
I don't know.
you know.
Wu-Tang's hit and miss nowadays if they do something together.
Wasn't there like you could only steal the album if like Bill Murray was stealing it? Do you guys remember that?
I don't know.
What? I don't remember.
There was
that.
like part of the contract was like the only person who like can legally take the album is Bill Murray. Or something weird like that.
What?
That's like insane.
That sounds like fake
Yeah,
news.
it's really random.
Wait, y'all. Oh, dang it.
Who
Now I
finds
have
this? I
like
know
a
this is
good one, and
real.
we're almost out of like
Just say
intro
it. Just say
time.
it. Just say it.
Hold on, but here, let me ask you this question. So, like I told you guys, I've been watching a lot of like the music documentaries, like the Elton John Rocket Man, and like the Bee Gees documentary, and like there's other what's the Billie Holiday on Hulu? Like I've just been watching all of them, and now I'm like, what artist? If you have to pick an artist to have like that type of documentary made of, like that era, like full career encompassing documentary, who would it be? Like who's next?
The Bill Murray thing was fake. It was like-
Exactly.
but it went around.
Yeah, but one artist, dead or alive in general, it doesn't matter.
Oh well, yeah, I guess in general.
Damn, that's tough, bro.
It's like who's next? Who do you think would get the next like film like that from?
Who's getting the next documentary? Jay-Z probably. There hasn't been like a big Jay-Z
Right?
one. There hasn't been a
I
big
thought
Jay-Z
Jay-Z
one.
too.
He probably has a couple, but he doesn't have like one like this is the Jay-Z documentary. You know?
Mm.
And then
'Cause
I was like, would we want a Kanye one? Too soon, right? Like we still think there's more to that, right?
Too soon. I think that's too
Like
soon.
you
a
could
little
make
bit.
a Kanye movie based off what you have so far.
True, but I think it's too soon. And there was actually it's so crazy. We're talking about documentaries. It was just like the Biggie one, like the Biggie documentary came out because there's a lot, and this one's like supposed to be the best one. That's what I've heard. They said it's like the best one, better than the movie. They said if you want to know about Biggie,
I
watch
like
this.
Notorious, so that's some
I like
high
Notorious.
standards.
Notorious. Okay, high standards. Notorious is a high standards. Come on now.
Okay, let's get into welcome to the 97 Demo Podcast, where we give you the latest in music news. I say news, more like music news, and more. A whole bunch along the way. This week, interesting discussion, right? Right, teaser.
Oh, yeah,
Very
totally.
interesting.
I'm Nnamdi Igwanwu with my two pals.
I'm Noah. Wake up, guys. Come on. Wake up. I'm Noah. Noah McGee.
I'm Avery.
Yep.
Avery
We got the
Delisle.
97 demo. Let's go. How's everybody
Avery,
been?
This is all you. Our new music currency.
Oh my gosh, this thing I half understand. So the Kings of Leon rock band announced that they would be releasing an album as an NFT, which have like blown up in the last week, I would say. And NFT stands for non-fungible tokens.
That's the new thing.
I also learned what fungible means this past week. So these NFTs are like digital assets that are a new form of like, I wouldn't say new, but like relatively new form of cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
If you've heard of like NBA Top Shots, those are popping off right now.
Those are ridiculous.
It's insane. Noah sent us a picture of Pharrell that was sold as an NFT.
Yeah, bro.
They can store assets like tickets or merchandise, so it remains to be seen whether these blow up in music. I can see it happening, but it like no one knows if it's just a bubble or not right now either.
Yeah, it's really weird. You can still stream it. Like, don't worry, people. You can still stream it on your like Apple Music.
That's the point. I just still don't get it. And I remember this is what I said to Avery. I'm like, if it's still accessible to everyone, doesn't that automatically depreciate its overarching value? Like
it's
if
like
I
ownership.
Ownership.
I know it's ownership, but if I bought like, let's say a recording of a J. Cole concert, but that concert was also posted online so everyone could watch it, it's like, when would I ever feel cool for owning this thing that's like online for everyone?
True.
The best way I've heard people talk about it is like, you know, you've seen a billion pictures of the Mona Lisa, but only the Louvre owns the actual Mona Lisa, right?
Yeah.
So I guess
like you can see the Mona Lisa anytime you want. No one owns the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
The most interesting way I've seen this like been talked about is like in terms of like membership or like a fan club. You know, like if J. Cole was like, hey, I have 100, I don't know, things of my album that people can buy as NFTs, and you can also like it's like owning stock in someone. So what if he had like virtual shareholders as these NFTs and you had input in how he was going to be doing things, right?
Yeah.
It's really interesting, but I don't know how long this this is going to be around, whether it dies down in the next week or just pops up. We don't know.
And like the last month, this whole thing has just gone crazy with the Top Shot, with the like sports stuff, and now this. It's ridiculous. I don't know. This just feels like a trend again. Remember Bitcoin was like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin. 50 Cent made $50 million. Remember that? Remember 50 Cent was like, oh my gosh, I made $50 million on Bitcoin, and it never worked out. So
Bitcoin comes and goes too. So.
Exactly.
It really does. Yeah. I mean, I think this could be a thing. It has to be widely embraced. And I guess you have to like find a way to like, I guess, make value for it.
Yeah. I don't know. If it has value in it, people can make money.
It clearly does. Like, I think I could see more artists doing this.
Okay.
I spent a few days trying to figure out what this is, and it's still
confusing.
A little blurry.
Wait, but I'm like, so this album they're releasing, so that means I can't go on Spotify and like listen to this album.
No, you can. Oh, you can on Apple Music.
It's on Spotify.
Yeah, you can listen to it.
But you can just also buy it.
Look. It says the tokens will unlock special perks like limited edition vinyl and front row seats to future concerts.
So wait a second, can you buy it on iTunes too? That's what I'm wondering.
I'm not sure.
I don't freaking know. What's it called when you see yourself? Yeah, you can buy it. Bro, I don't freaking know. This is ridiculous.
Okay, what's our next story? We've been on this one for a minute because
let's move on with this embarrassing. Well, it is embarrassing actually. You know, two of our states in the United States decided that they're done with COVID pretty much.
Yeah,
one being Avery's home, Texas. Yeah. And other being Nnamdi's home. I'm joking. I'm joking. Texas and Mississippi reopened, but live venues say no thanks. If you read this story, a lot of live venues in these states are really cautious about reopening and, having people come in with like no mask and whatever, so I think it's interesting because I think a lot of these venues are, desperate for artists to come and perform because, we did a story like a while ago. Remember, it's like venues are losing money. Things are closing down. These local venues mostly, not like the big venues. And yeah, I was just wondering how you guys feel about that.
I mean, I definitely think it's probably a tough decision. Well, no, I part of me feels like it's not even them. I think it's gonna still take a while for people to feel comfortable going into. At least I say this, but I don't. I like it.
Yeah, I see it in Atlanta.
I see the videos of Atlanta this weekend.
No, I did say Atlanta, and that's insane. But I think like more often than not, at least to be able to consistently hold like nights of shows, I do think it's gonna take some time for people to be comfortable enough to do that.
Like
So, I get why I think it may be a little bit easier as a music person to be like, well, we all want to go back, but would y'all go to a concert if it was scheduled tomorrow? Would you go? If you
No, hell no.
No, so it's gonna take some time. New York, I know they're doing 33% starting, I think, April 1st.
Why?
But what they're saying though is like you can do it, but it has to be socially distanced. Like if I knew something was socially distanced, I'd be a tad bit more inclined to say, okay, like let me go see this show. You wouldn't make any money, but no, and like I don't think anyone's gonna do it. But
COVID's never going away, guys.
Fans are already going back to basketball games. Baseball season's about to start.
Yeah,
I'm having a graduation in May. Like
COVID's never ending, ever. Yeah, it's serious. I'm serious.
Australia had 40 days of zero community,
Bro, because they locked down and they will arrest you.
Sydney.
COVID's never ending. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's pretty freaking
frustrating. Yeah, Tame Impala just did Tame Impala
it's not gonna end the way we're acting. Remember when COVID first started, was like, oh, September, it's going to be over. No, it's been a year, and it's not any signs of slowing down.
I have to be able to tell myself that this will end eventually.
Wait, let me tell you this, guys. And people act like they don't care. If somebody was like, okay, guys, 500,000 people are going to die, okay? Would you take those chances? If 500,000, I know it's like a small percentage, but if people like 500,000 people in the United States are going to die, would you be like, okay, I'll take that chance? It's like you could.
500,000 people did die.
No, I'm saying but I'm saying before this, but people don't care. I'm saying people don't care. If you were like, we don't know who's gonna 500,000 people are gonna die, would you take that chance? I'd be like, no, because it could possibly.
That was just a lot of people, and it's still happening.
It's still happening. Yeah. So many people have died.
There was a moment a long time ago where some people had stopped caring or saying like, well, it's just gonna be a risk we take.
Yeah. This Grammy thing is interesting.
I know this is so the Grammys, they were pushed back to March 14th, which I realize now maybe next Sunday, or March 13th. Today. So they finally announced who the performances are. 22 artists, including like Taylor Swift, Dua Lipa, Roddy Ricch, Black Puma, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion's performing, Billie Eilish. A very expansive list here. Post Malone, Harry Styles, Beyonce isn't. And want to know why? It's because all Beyonce releases one song. She probably was going to come out to perform for one song, despite having 8 nominations this year.
Miranda Lambert, a lot of people. Yeah, this is interesting. I hope they're going to be, now I'm wondering, I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing it from home. Like it's going to be like the BET Awards, right? It's going to be like they're doing it at,
I don't know. I don't know if they're doing that. Like, does it say that?
It says at the
Staples Center.
Yeah, but are they going
to Convention Center?
Oh, they'll all be at the venue. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
All the performances will take place there.
Interesting.
Oh, but they're going to use a different location to announce the nominations. Mm-hmm. Isn't that kind of like what the VMAs did? I want to say the VMAs may have done that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder where the other places are going to be. Where do they usually do it? It's usually at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
I thought it was at the Staples Center normally.
Staples?
Yeah, like Staples Center last year, remember?
Yeah, because the Kobe thing. Yeah. Damn. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
So what are we going to do if Taylor Swift wins album of the year for Folklore? Are we going to clap and say it's deserving?
I mean, it makes sense if she won. I'm not expecting her to lose.
We need to have another talk about the Grammys for real one day, seriously.
Because it's next week. So like we
talk about the Grammys in 2 weeks. So.
No, not like just about the Grammys, like what's happening, not just reacting, like the Grammys, like talking about them. Like
I could see Dua Lipa winning, like coming from her. She's kind of like the I thought would be like the big surprise if she just snapped. Like
that album's great. So if she won something for that album, she probably will, but hopefully she does. But yeah, let's get to new releases. What's exciting.
Finally got some Drake, but it's I feel like this it was good, but it wasn't an album, and I'm gonna hold on to that bitterness.
I'm fine with it.
I'm not bitter because I feel like we can eat off this for the next 3 months, and I'm good.
3 songs, 3 songs, 3 months.
I think there are rumors that the album's coming out. There's rumors that the album's coming out next month.
We could.
Oh, see, I do think like a nice Drake album to set the scene for summer would be nice.
No, let me tell you exactly. That's my point.
April. It's like
That's my thing though. We got 3. We need to chill on these 3 for a couple months because then the album's gonna be 20 songs. So like.
Well, remember he said he said it's gonna be shorter, apparently.
Oh, 25. He said I cut down to 20, 18,
like 20. Yeah,
because the last album was 23 songs. It was shorter. Yeah. 18 now. Like, I pray Drake does a short album like. 15 max 15.
But we did get a lot of other stuff for new releases this week. We talked about King of Leon already. We had Silk Sonic, their debut track, Leave the Door Open.
Thoughts.
So good.
Thoughts.
That was good. I'm very excited about the album based off of what I've gotten so far. I'll say
I
that.
agree.
I have not been more confident in an album after one single than this. Like,
Wow.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't what I expected sonically, but I'm super happy.
I
what
feel like it
what I
was
got.
kind of what I like. I feel like this is if I could have guessed, it would have been something like this, like smooth R&B, 24K Magic ish Bruno.
No, but Bruno was
the
on
Innocent
his
Dark
funk
Spin.
shit. Excuse my language. He was on his funk stuff with his album and stuff like that. He was all funky and like, doing the whole thing. It was kind of like a ballad.
This is
It
like
was
what
slow.
some of the slower songs on that album sounded like.
Yeah, true. But I think they're gonna give us some of that anyway. But
Hold On by Justin Bieber. Anyone listen to it?
yeah,
Off
it
of
was
his,
terrible.
New,
It was
It's like a
terrible.
Justin Bieber
Pepsi
song.
album.
It was terrible. It's terrible.
Justin
Terrible.
Bieber's curing racism with this album, so
Oh my god.
Because it's justified.
justice.
It's
Oh, no,
terrible.
it's justice.
The song is terrible.
It just sounds like a Justin Bieber song.
It's terrible. We kind of glossed over them Drake songs though. Like them need to deserve a little more attention for real. Though.
Those
Like,
were, they were all great. All three songs were great.
I mean, we talked about it a lot off pod,
camera.
But Lemon Pepper Freestyle is great. I feel like Drake and Rick Ross never miss, or at least so far haven't.
which one is you think is gonna chart the highest?
Probably the Lil Baby song. What's it called? Wants and
Needs.
Needs.
Play
I
that
think
feature,
what's
that
next. I
collab
think what's
star.
next.
Or what's next.
You know what's
Which
so
one
crazy?
are they promoting? Is that they're gonna pick one to promote.
What's next
like,
has the music
main-
video. What's next has the music
Yeah.
video.
Oh, okay.
So
So what's next? Yeah.
And that'll probably be on the album too. So
yeah, what's next? Yeah, probably Lil Baby song too. So and the Baby King, Avery, what you think? It was cool. I thought it was really
It was
cool.
good.
It wasn't nothing
It was good.
crazy.
it wasn't
That
as
was
good
good.
as Hooligan.
It was
But
good. It was cool.
It was better than the other song on the Hooligan.
What? Whoa.
No, it was Hooligan. He released another song,
Yeah, they were both good. I don't know what you're talking about.
and I thought this was better than that second song, which name I'm forgetting right now.
Okay, moving on.
My
That song was
opinion.
That song was better. Any other standouts you guys like? Oh,
Nope,
the Maroon
you said
5.
this, Maroon. Yeah, I was gonna say the Maroon.
couldn't
5
listen to
Megan Thee
this.
Stallion collab.
And every time I tried to-
imagine it.
Every time I tried to click on it on Spotify, I wasn't able to click it, so
Oh, didn't happen to me. Can't
I couldn't
remember.
listen to it. How was it? It's fine.
It was fine, I guess.
I haven't listened to it yet because I just can't imagine what a Meg Thee Stallion Maroon 5 collaboration would sound like. I mean, I couldn't imagine what a Cardi B Maroon 5 collaboration would be, and they did that.
And they did it. So that's why I was like, Nnamdi, Phineas, your guy. How was that?
I know I have not
This was
listened
good.
to this.
Oh
yet.
my
I'm
God.
trying,
I
feel
really
bad.
liked-
I
I
can
liked it.
assume because it's Phineas is great. I don't have any doubts. Phineas.
Yeah,
hasn't
I'm a fan of
missed with
both
me.
of them. Ash and Phineas are pretty good, so it was a good song they put out together.
That's what's
And
up.
then-
okay,
the
so
St.
Avery,
Vincent song was good too. Pay Your Way in Pain was good.
What
as
kind of
well.
music are they? What kind of music are they?
It's like pop.
It's pop. Okay, it's pop. It's pop.
Oh wait, did we talk about this Tyler the Creator song? Tell me
It's
how.
not. It's nothing. It's just like from a Coca-Cola commercial. It's not honestly like that good. It's okay. It's like it was from a commercial. I think it said that it's like Coca-Cola commercial. People are listening to it though, and people are like, "Oh, I mess with it." It's cool. It's like it's like a throwback kind of what he did
Yeah.
back in the day. Like in 2010.
Well, and then the last thing, did anyone talk about Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats? I feel like they kind of set the scene for what we're talking about today. Kind of collab album.
Yeah,
Songs
interesting.
released
Yeah,
about
this is
it,
like
but-
this like kind of like remixed version of their other album that they released already. It's kind of like new songs and some like with extra features, essentially, right? Avery, I like the first one. The first one was cool. It was really good. Yeah, Kenny Beats is killing it, bro. I like him so much. He's so great.
He's so good.
Yeah, he has a great YouTube channel too. Yeah, it was cool. It's just like a bunch of other remix songs. The one with Joey Badass was good. I think it came out like a couple weeks ago when we last did the pod.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll probably listen to it. So,
All right, cool. So, Silk Sonic, sort of, they inspired an episode, right, Avery? Like, the potential
Yeah.
of what that album will be.
absolutely.
So, we're about to get an album from probably two of the most talented performers and musicians that we have currently.
In history.
Pack
Uh,
and Bruno
well,
Mars. In
let's-
history is a
let's-
lot, but like
let's-
currently,
I'm
for
joking.
sure.
I'm joking.
Anderson
clearly.
Paak, sure, in history, yeah, great. Bruno Mars is awesome too. But anyways, it got me thinking, what are some of the best collab albums that we've gotten over time? And obviously we've gotten a couple of really big ones over the last 10 years. But also made me wonder, like, what collab albums did we wish we got over the years? I know there's one that sticks out, and everyone in our generation. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about collab albums. Are they good? Are they bad? Do you look forward to them usually? What's going on?
Which ones do we want? Which ones do we need? Which ones are, pointless?
One we need, we're never gonna get.
Yeah.
So wait. So what do we want to start with? Let's pick that. So let's
talk about the best one. What have been some of the best collab albums?
So like, what is the cream of the crop in terms of collab albums and whatnot?
Top of the list.
When we were talking, didn't we say we were gonna when we say collab, it's gonna be like it has to be two vocalists.
Two vocalists. Yeah. So we're kind of taking out. We can talk about this too, but we kind of took out like producer, rapper, or
even
just
this picture right here on this album
No, because y'all know I would have immediately brought 21 Savage and Metro Boomin out.
Yeah, because then it would have been like, because sometimes, some artists, release a project that's just produced by one people. Like, remember Kanye and Pusha T? They didn't say it was Kanye and Pusha T. It was like Pusha T album produced by Kanye. So it wasn't like a collab.
I can't bring up a written testimony, even though Jay-Z, did his thing with
exactly. It's like, it's kind of exactly.
It's basically a collab.
It's basically a collab, but it's like, that's why. We don't
I guess two vocalists being credited on one project. Or more. Two or more vocalists being credited on one project.
Exactly. So.
Okay,
we should bring up the two big ones of the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Watch the Throne.
And Baby Pluto. And I'm joking.
We can talk about that as well.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
For some reason, I don't connect those two in my head to like a similar time period, but they were. Like, I think one was only like 3 years after the other.
It was like more like five. More like five.
Yeah, what the time was like 2015? Oh, I thought it was like
2010, 2011-ish. Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like collab albums from like big acts aren't as like, I'm not saying they're ever a big thing, but it doesn't feel like they come out often.
They're not as common.
They're not very common. So with you guys, with Watch the Throne, let's talk about Watch the Throne, because I feel like that's the thing that the trend that kind of brought it back, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. Would you agree? Would you agree with that?
It's like at least among blueprint.
Because I like, even just in prepping for this episode, like it's kind of popular among rap. Collab albums have always kind of been a thing. Mm-hmm. When I think back to even like Birdman and Lil Wayne, like the early 2000s, they were doing collab albums. Just among like the people who were at the top of the chain at the time, that's what's like not common. Like Kanye West and Jay-Z, I remember just when you hear those two names, if you're a rap fan, you're like, oh wow, like okay, this is gonna be something serious. Especially since it was at the time where Kanye was kind of like doing really well. He was running off the heat of Monster. Right?
You mean My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? You mean
yeah,
that?
But I just mean like
that
that, like era of music. I had to like make sure Yeezus hadn't came out yet, but no, I think it was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah,
and like Jay-Z's Jay-Z. So like that caliber of artist doesn't get together often.
Yeah.
The thing is, like prior to that, you could probably make an album of all the songs that they had made together.
Yeah,
right? You probably could.
Had a ton together.
Yeah.
And I'd say that like their album, Watch the Throne, is like the modern blueprint for a collab album, at least in hip hop. And also like, I think it like sets the standard now of where like when you do have a big collaboration between two artists, you expect a lot. And it's probably because of that album.
You know what's interesting about that album, and we've talked about this, is I don't think it aged the best based on the music that they used for the the sound that they used for most of that album, which is very dubsteppy, which was really popular. There was songs that are good that I think have aged well, like Murder to Excellence, stuff like that. Lost in the Wild, Made in America, things like that. Then there's songs like Ham, which are really like of the time.
Yeah, I think that like for me, there's enough songs on there that I've still like I could still hear played at a summer festival. Mm-hmm. Like Otis, N-Words in Paris.
Otis is a classic.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it, yeah.
Wow, like there's a lot of songs that are just like from a ratio perspective, I think a good portion of the album did age well.
Yeah.
And it's like Avery said, it sort of set the bar for like what we would expect if two A-listers got together. That's why I think a lot of collab albums that come out honestly don't always like have a huge impact, unless like people do like know what they're supposed to be doing. Like What a Time to Be Alive. That's the perfect example of one that
talk about it.
Torch. It's just that y'all know I'm a fan of that album. I think it aged well. I remember when it came out at the time, I remember feeling like oh, like, this is just another like we didn't need this album. Like this is random, Drake and Future, but like they delivered on it. And I did like Jumpman, Big Rings, like it showcased both of them perfectly at the time. Drake was kind of getting into his rapper bag around then because he just put out If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Future was kind of at like his peak, maybe.
Not his peak, but like he just released Dirty Sprite. I feel like that's when he like broke into the mainstream like big time with Dirty Sprite too. That's when like not just like, you know, people that listen to his mixtape, it was like he broke into the mainstream big time with that Dirty Sprite too. And Drake was on that album, and then they did this. And that's when Metro Boomin got all his because Metro Boomin produced the whole thing famously.
And so, they didn't have as big of a like track record together like Kanye and Jay-Z did, but I don't think Future and Drake had that many songs. Like they may have been on a couple like together, but it wasn't like a history of Future and Drake, you know, of like. And this is the thing now, you guys. I'm not saying I hate this. I'm not saying this album's terrible. It's just with me, this one's really like cool for me when it comes to collab albums, because I feel like with this, when I think of a collab album that I think is great, it feels like, wow, they both, you can't really pick who stood as like, wow, the marriage was perfect. You know, when you think of like the best of collab albums, I think it's really good for like what it is, like a party album. But I find myself listening to this project and I'm like, wow, I just can't wait for Drake to come on. When Future comes on, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
And to me, that's why a collab album. That's why I'm like, really like. I'm not saying hard on the album. It's just like that's why I have such, you know, not the greatest thoughts for it, but I get what it means in terms of two artists. Like I get the impact it had. I'm not saying like the impact was like, you know.
I mean, Drake. It's not controversial to say Drake was a better portion of the album.
Yeah,
but I just think when I think of the product by its like as a whole, they put a good album.
Yeah, yeah. You enjoyed you enjoyed the songs. They're great for having fun too and stuff like that. So, and then you know what's so crazy? We're thinking about those albums. Then we got to think about the albums. We have to mention the albums that like, why did they collab? Like, what was the point of it? And one of them is the most recent one I have to think about. It's the Pluto one with Future and Lil Uzi. I listened to it, guys. I listened to it at the gym. I listened to it. It's interesting because I'm trying to understand why they even did it.
It felt like, honestly, if I'm being real, like Lil Uzi was kind of hot, and I know he was a fan of Future's, and Future was probably like, well, this kid is like hot right now, he's popping right now, like why not?
Yeah,
did it.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because it's not like people were calling for it. It's not like the fans were fiending for a Future and Baby Pluto Lil Uzi project. So yeah, I don't know. It was just really interesting that they released it. I was like, what was even the point of it? Because they really didn't even make an impact. Do people like think about that album like that?
It really just came and went. I still haven't listened to it.
I listened to it.
What about Huncho Jack? I feel like they're in that category, of things. Yeah. But I think that made a tad bit more sense for me. But it still felt like it came and gone.
It came and went, exactly. It was just like, okay, you know. So let's get into it. You know, projects that we feel like we should have gotten, or you know, collab albums that we've heard we should have gotten, ones that we want, ones that we think we need, ones that we think are perfect. The first one that comes to mind, Avery, you alluded to it. What is it?
J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. It's been teased for like a decade now. Like, it's a joke now. It's a meme now, right? It's like the ultimate music meme. It's just, we're never gonna get it, but we want it.
Do you think?
I feel like,
go ahead.
It's almost too good to be true at this point. You know, I've, especially as both of them have continued to get bigger. At least when these rumors started, it was like Jay-Z and Kendrick were like, we knew they were going to be like great, but they weren't great yet. Like they had just put out projects that everyone like was talking about. Like they were young in their career when I first heard of this, like, oh, they're going to collab, because they did collab early in their like Born Sinner. There's the Kendrick and J. Cole song, Land of the Snakes. Like, I'm pretty sure J. Cole had been on a verse with Kendrick before that. Like, but now that there are these,
J. Cole produced a song on Section 80.
Exactly. But now that they're like these like huge acts, it just feels almost unrealistic to expect it. Like they're too big.
And these rumors weren't like just fan fueled. Like it was very much fueled like, by them themselves, where they had the Black Friday remixes on SoundCloud, where they rapped over each other's beats.
And then I remember at the end of Kendrick was like, y'all can wait till, oh, never mind. It was just like, and that's the thing. And honestly, at this point, unless it's like they're coming in with like a fresh mind, because I feel like they probably had an album, they probably had songs done, probably, you know, they probably had like songs, they probably had a recording session when they recorded a bunch of music together. But at this point, unless it's like a new recording, unless they get in now, I feel like I just don't want it now.
Nothing they could come out with, I feel like now would ever live up to that hype.
Exactly. Unless they like did one now. If they like got in the if they're in the recording studio now, it's something recent, cool. Like I'm cool with that. But if like at this point, I'm just kind of like past the thing. And I think, and what do you guys think it would, and Avery's kind of saying like, it kind of want to live up to the hype because the hype is like ridiculous now. It's like
insane.
It's like Detox with Dr. Dre. It was like Detox. Dre was saying, I'm working on Detox for 20 years and never came out. He just came out with that Compton album, you know? Yeah. So it's kind of like,
I'll keep on going. My laptop's about to die. Just ignore me.
Nnamdi over here without his laptop charger. It's kind of like the way of like having hype go on for too long. Mm-hmm. You know, when like artists will have hype go on forever and it's like nothing's ever gonna come out. You know, it's like
the Astroworld thing that actually did.
Yeah. Would actually them come out and people loved it, but the thing was exactly.
I was reaching like a fever pitch too, though. It felt like it can't wait any longer.
And Nipsey Hussle Nipsey Hussle's not that low, but the album he released, Marathon Continues. I forgot the Marathon, but that was like technically his first album. Even though he released other projects, like this is the album gonna release finally, and it was like it finally came out. So it's so interesting. We you know so I guess
I have to also bring up, especially after this weekend, but a Drake Rick Ross album, like I would love that. I would love for that to happen.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, the Drake and Rick Ross thing,
it makes sense.
But here's I'm sorry, I heard that and I rushed back. Here's my thing about that. Drake and Rick Ross are great at giving me one-offs when I need it. I'm kind of nervous of how like a full album between the two of them.
Wait, hold on.
We're just getting a single every now and then. I'm not gonna lie.
Hold up. So every time, because whenever Drake and Future on a song together, I'm like, Future's cool, but where's Drake? When I'm on a Rick Ross and Drake song, I'm never like, oh, Rick Ross, I'm like, oh, Rick Ross is killing it, and then Drake's killing it. We think a Drake and Future collab is better than Rick Ross. Rick Ross.
A reason like we get songs every once in a while, like we get singles every once in a while, because like sometimes when they're both like have something to say or they're both feeling it, they hit each other up and like, let's do it. I think if they were to sit down and we were like ask for an album, it just brings up the possibility of it not all being as like great as we think it would be. Is this my hot take for the episode, that I actually don't think I want a Drake Rick Ross collab album?
Wait, what? Oh my God! See, this man just over here defending Drake and Future, and
well, okay, I just like it's a risk, like to deliver a 13-track thing and everyone's great between the two of them.
But I think that's a thing that you can risk with every album. What if we go on J. Cole and Kendrick and it's so lackluster? They're singing the whole time or some stuff. J. Cole's over here doing hello the whole time. Like what if that was the whole album?
You know how toxic a J. Cole Kendrick Lamar album would be now?
Yes, it would be terrible.
Twitter would explode.
Kendrick's better. J. Cole better.
Factions.
It would be terrible.
I feel like it would unite us. I don't think it would.
No.
I don't think
they'd be like Kendrick, watch J. Cole.
You know how people are.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd probably divide us three. Like,
okay, I don't think it would divide us, but well, actually,
people have lost the ability to enjoy things.
Exactly. People would just like be like, oh man, J. Cole ruined the song, or Kendrick, he did that weird voice thing, and people want to shut up about it,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I feel like, now let's talk about, let's stop being negatives. Let's find like the perfect marriage of collab albums, because I think we've talked about ones that we've all been split about. Would you agree? Yeah. We've all been kind of like split about. What are some perfect marriages in terms of collab albums?
Like that already exist?
That whether they exist or whether they come, like this Silk Sonic one feels just perfect.
I was just gonna say, like Silk Sonic was one that I just think is like the perfect collaboration.
We might be in trouble of hyping this up too much. So what if it's not as good? See,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good, but that's just like the perfect marriage of like Bruno Mars, who's like a traditional pop singer, and Anderson .Paak, who's like everything. He does everything, but he's a perfect blend of being a musician, a singer, a rapper, and anything. Do you think it's gonna be doing any rapping on this at all?
I think I can see it.
Sing-song rappy.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars his rap collaborations have been great.
Yeah.
And I think the most recent one I can think of is Wake Up in the Sky is awesome.
Yeah, that one was great.
And then
exactly.
The Cardi B remix of Finesse is really good. So
no, we haven't even talked about Run the Jewels.
Yes.
Whew.
Talk about Run the Jewels.
Run the Jewels.
I
Now,
like they're on here.
now we were wondering whether we should even discuss this because now they're like a full-fledged group together. And I was saying that the first one, I'm like, maybe because after the second one, it was like, okay, we're a group now, we're doing this, you know. But I think they kind of count because you know, like Outkast, they came out as a group. When Wu-Tang came out as a group. Who else came out as a group? Any other group, whatever you say, they came out as a group. But like Killer Mike and LP came out, you know, it was like these two rappers who have plenty of projects alone by themselves. Great albums, by the way, too. Rap Album's a great album. He has an album called Rap Album.
I'm gonna forget that group that Dr. Dre was in. I forgot the name of it.
What, NWA?
No, he was in one after NWA, and it flopped.
Really?
Hold on, keep going. I'm gonna look this up.
I
No,
don't know.
keep talking.
Snoop Dogg? I don't know. Yeah, and I feel like this is the perfect marriage of like, of Killer Mike and LP are the perfect marriage of like artists, because Killer Mike is the most rambunctious. You know, he's so smart too. It's so crazy to listen to him speak, but him on a song, like especially Run the Jewels too, when he's like, I'm gonna bang the F out, and they just go in. It's just like the perfect marriage of like LP's production, and LP's kind of mild mannered too himself. It's a perfect marriage, and the topics they talk about too. So
Yeah.
that's why I think it's the perfect marriage. Can you think of another one, Nnamdi, that was like a perfect marriage in terms of artists working together? It's tough.
Let's think. Keep on scrolling on this list and see if anyone comes to mind.
It's very tough.
Not like a collab that's perfect.
It's not easy.
I don't know if I can.
Oh, I'll bring up the. It's really random, and I think one song's bring the whole thing. But I've always loved the Jay-Z Linkin Park collab. That's always been. I love that album.
Now that's one I feel like that's really. That's one I feel like that's really dated. Not this one, not the one that people can see on the screen. The Jay-Z Linkin Park. The crazy thing. For sure. First of all, I love Linkin Park. I love all their music, but it was just like really at the time, and the time was great. But it's just really dated. But Linkin Park,
I know. No, I'm sorry. I've thought of one, and now I have to say it. I think of one that's a perfect marriage. Kanye West and Kid Cudi.
Oh,
I think that was the perfect marriage that came out. That's the reason that, like, that's one of, in my opinion, that album is one of their respective best, like compared to their own catalogs.
That album, Kids See Ghosts, is flawless. It's incredible.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but this basically stopped the run of Kid Cudi releasing like mediocre to okay projects, for real. To me,
Kids See Ghosts did?
Yeah, because Kid Cudi was on.
I didn't like the most recent Man on the Moon, so I don't know if I can. I'm saying that's the point, though. I'm like, Kid Cudi's so hit or miss sometimes, and Kanye kind of got him to focus. That was like the last time Kanye was focused. Well, he did, and Ye wasn't that focused to me, but like that. And if we're being real, the production is really what delivered on Kids See Ghosts, and like Kid Cudi is like
rapping.
Him, like
they're both rapping well on that.
They're both rapping well. The production's awesome, and they're not just rapping too. It's like whatever they're doing musically, the vibe of the album. I know that's a weird word, you know.
No, that's like accurate though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nice, concise 7, 8 songs.
If only more people did that. Another one too that Avery kind of stepped on. Mos Def and Talib Kweli.
Yeah.
I think Mos Def is forgotten in like hip hop history, bro. Like, dude was like. He had a successful albums like the late 90s and the early 2000s. Like he wasn't like necessarily like living the mainstream, but he had songs that were like popular. Remember he was in the Alicia Keys music video and stuff like that. And Talib Kweli, even though he's kind of effed up now because you saw what he did to that girl on Twitter last year, that was crazy. That was crazy. But this one is a very, 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 very underrated project between these two guys. This album is perfect. This album is freaking perfect.
I've got one that should have been better. I thought it was
Mos Def Black Star. I didn't say it. Mos Def Black Star.
I know one that should have been better.
What?
Is Beyonce Jay-Z.
Wow.
The Carters.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I go back. I enjoyed it, but I know a lot of people had higher expectations for it and were let down by it. And that had a whole there were 2 albums released before that.
You know what?
Kind of leading up to it.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah,
you know what?
Go ahead. I feel like my thing with the Carters, I go back to it and I always think it was better than I thought it was at the time. I think people wanted it to be commercial. Like they wanted it to be hits, like bangers as Jay-Z and Beyonce. You wanted them to go back to that. And it wasn't that. It was like a concise storytelling, slower album. And it sounds, I think, a bit more like mature adult contemporary to me too. And like as far as rap goes. So I think that's sort of why Like it just wasn't what people thought it was gonna be.
Yes and no, because even though what was that first song that they had the music video? Even though that song was dope and the music video was awesome,
Like
people were like, yeah, that song was cool and everything, but people were just hyping up,
Beyonce rap.
Beyonce's ghostwriting, and I get Beyonce fans, calm down, but like it was just clearly, I don't want Beyonce to sound like Migos rapping. It was clearly like, and
have you heard the demo?
It was a reference track too.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted from the album? That kind of did, like, I get it. It's actually like really chill kind of background music. I don't think that's a diss. It's still good. Like the one produced by Pharrell's good too. But I kind of wanted, because those two albums, they're like talking about their problems. Like Beyonce was talking about what Jay-Z did to her, and then Jay-Z was talking about him going through it. I kind of wish they came together and it was like a super mature album talking about their problems, on that album in particular, because they did those things. And it was like, I get they were talking about black excellence. Like that's what they do. That's what Jay-Z does.
They had
like,
Family Feud, which was kind of about.
Yeah, but once, like, I kind of wanted the whole album, because they did those albums. It's like, we're coming together. We're a family. And like,
yeah.
That would have been monumental, dang near, bro. They did an album and they're like, well, we're coming together as a family to talk about this on this project. Wouldn't that have been amazing? Seriously, that would have been a monument. Like, yo, Jay-Z and Beyonce to go. The album's still cool.
They really only had a couple lines throughout the whole album.
Couple lines, exactly. They
referencing
focused
everything that happened.
They focused on that.
Which, I mean, it's not our business, but still.
It's not our business, but they kind of set us up. though.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the previous two albums were literally.
Yeah, they kind of set us up. So yeah. Oh man. So any other thoughts on these collab albums? Like, when do we need them? When do we should do them? Which ones we don't need?
I'm just noticing we haven't named any collabs with like female artists, and like I want a all-female collab. Like, but those aren't common. I'm trying to think of.
I was gonna say, do you guys ever think that like Cardi B and Megan could release one together?
I thought you were gonna say Cardi B and Nicki, and I was gonna be like, no.
Cardi B and Megan, because they had Liquid Gold on. Wow.
See, but they're a perfect example of one that I'm like, they gave me the one song that was great, but I'm not sure they could give me an album. Like maybe I'm a pessimist.
No, yeah, I feel you, because the thing is, like, Quavo and Travis Scott, those are two big acts by themselves, and they came together. It was like, eh. Now I would say, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, they've had more success with their collaborations anyway. First of all, the album would be a hit. Oh, I can't guarantee that. I don't know. I'm interested. I feel like with collab albums, unless the marriage is like obvious, kind of like Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, or like they have a history of doing music together, where like, oh look, there was moments of magic here and moments of magic here and here, and you know. And I feel like there's a way to you can release a couple EPs, like, hey, we did a little 3-track EP here, see what this is like and see how people feel. I feel like when people just come on, do a collab album, it's like, oh.
So what's the perfect storm for a good collab album?
There has to be history of them doing music together. There has to be.
Or no, even if there's not history, I think you just have to be able to they have to be from the same like musical ecosystem, kind of, but like complementary at the same time. It's like Bruno. I'm trying to think of why Bruno and Anderson .Paak work so well. It's because of the timing. One, like Bruno's fresh off of 24K.
They don't have history together.
Because they don't have a history together. And Anderson .Paak is sort of this guy who, like, everyone has said deserves to like be bigger, and this could be that project that makes it bigger. So I feel like that works. But then Beyonce and Jay-Z worked because they were married and they had a story we wanted to hear. So it depends. Like, why did Killer Mike and LP work out? Like, what was it about them? They
did music together before that. LP was really
friendship. They're like friendships.
No. I'm saying they worked together before that. LP was really the main producer, and he did a lot of work with them before that project. Before the first run of Jules, I'm saying, like with Killer Mike's last solo album.
So my thing is like, is the perfect marriage? Does it really just take people who genuinely get along making music, as opposed to just maybe people who are just doing it because they're trying to capitalize off their images?
I think they do have to enjoy making music together. I feel like
Anderson .Paak and Bruno, I look at them and I'm like, even though y'all haven't put work together, I could imagine you guys having fun making this project.
Yeah, but I'm saying we still don't know. First of all, I get we're confident. We still got to hear the album. Like, I'm confident it's gonna be good. It's gonna enjoy it. I'm not saying it's gonna suck, but we have high expectations. If the album is really like, oh, it was cool, I think it would be a little. I don't want to be disappointed. I want it to be like, wow, this album was great. I don't want to be like, yeah, this album was cool, it just wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
That, like, there's still a chance, like, we're assuming it's gonna be good, but we really don't know, because I
also have to shout out No Name Smino and Saba, who are
we waited for
together.
that. Exactly.
Still waiting.
waiting for that. They released that one
Ghetto
little
Sage.
EP, that one single, one song.
Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah, and it was good. And it's so interesting because
they have songs together before.
They have
all
songs
of their
together.
albums.
Yeah, No Names work with Saba. Saba's work with No Name. Saba's work with
I think
Spino.
on Telephone, there's a song with the three of them together, and on Room 25.
Room 25, yeah. So we want that.
I need that.
At No Name, and No Name's been in the news lately too.
Like, drop it.
No Name's been in the news lately too. So
I think I've seen her tweet that like they have like it's they.
I think it's done. I just think No Name's like, I'm chilling. I want to read a book.
I think so. She has her album's coming out this year apparently. So
No Name keep playing with our lives, bro. Yeah. So any final thoughts on collab projects, collab albums? I want Pusha T Madlib possibly. That'd be amazing.
I think
that doesn't count.
It's not as easy as it would seem to be. It's not as simple as let's just take two large artists and put them together on an album. There's a lot that needs to go into it.
And to Nnamdi's point, just because two artists have done songs together and they worked in, that's different. Because even though the Rick Ross Drake songs are good individually, if they did an album, and you know what's so crazy, all their kind of songs are kind of like the same in terms of like them spitting and rapping and stuff like that. But like, just because Drake and Rick Ross do a collab together doesn't mean it's gonna hit.
I'm surprised Drake and Lil Wayne have never done a collab album.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised too. That's gonna happen when we don't care anymore.
I don't think it would work anymore.
That's gonna happen when Drake 40 and Lil Wayne 47. We'll be like, yo, bro.
I don't know if it would work anymore.
I don't think it would, because Lil Wayne is too hit and miss, and Drake is just not. I don't know, man. It's interesting. You have to. It really is a perfect timing with everything. Everything has to happen perfectly. It have to be the same. You know, it has to be where they are in their career. You know, if it was when Drake and Lil Wayne first, like when Drake first came out, that might have been cool, right? Remember, they was always on music together, but now it's like, oh, maybe.
I'm kind of surprised that like Justin Bieber and Usher never did one together.
That's interesting too.
That seemed like that would have happened after.
But was Usher ever on Justin Bieber's music? He just founded him. I don't remember. Was he ever on?
Yeah, he just found him.
He's found him. That's crazy that happened, and now Justin Bieber is bigger than everybody.
Literally.
Poor Usher. Yeah, it has to be a perfect storm of everything. So yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of what ifs.
A lot of what ifs.
You know, we are also forgetting. I wonder how much it just like it matters what label you're signed to. Like, I'm sure your label has to sign off on you, like working with someone else, and then I guess splitting profits some way. Like,
yeah. And what do we feel like?
Pac and Bruno on the same label?
I don't know. Anderson .Paak's on Aftermath, I think. And what is Bruno Mars on?
Bruno's not on Aftermath, I don't think.
No, definitely not. Bruno Mars doing a Dr. Dre album, produced album.
Bruno's assigned to Universal Motown Atlantic.
Yeah. So Motown Atlantic. He signed everybody basically. So yeah, I think it's interesting. It has to be a perfect storm of everything. So
wait,
I don't know.
Signed to Aftermath, which I think is
owned by Universal, probably.
Area of Universal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The credits for Leave the Door Open is Aftermath Entertainment and Atlantic Recording Corporation.
And
okay.
Signed to Atlantic.
Atlantic, got you. That's cool. Yeah, so that's why I was just saying, like, it sounds like a good marriage, but that's one song. Maybe they call it magic, but I feel like they have the album done because they just popped out of nowhere. I feel like they already have.
They already announced it.
So. We're definitely working on it.
I definitely feel like they haven't done so. I'm excited. This is exciting thing, and you know what's so crazy? I saw somebody tweet this like months ago. They was like, "We need a Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak," and I was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Oh crap! I sound stupid now."
It's like they got the idea from the tweet. They're like, "Yo,
exactly. That's crazy.
That is a good idea.
That is crazy. Yeah. So I hope it's good. So, any final thoughts? Any final thoughts on collab albums? Kendrick and J. Cole. I don't want it. I don't want it at this point. I don't want it. I don't want it. Nam, do you still want it? I mean, I'm not gonna I wouldn't listen to it if it came out. Oh yeah, listen. But are you like
Kanye Drake collab would be good?
Oh God, no.
Imagine like Kanye leading production and Drake leading rapping.
I was telling Noah this last week, and
I don't think it would fit. I think it would work. Well, have they done? Okay, has Kanye produced a Drake song? Oh yeah, you know which one he did? Find Your Love. But the production on that was terrible. Remember that? It sounded muffled. Yeah, exactly.
Drake rapped over "Say What's Real" on there.
Y'all know what would happen if Kanye produced Drake? He would sabotage him. Kanye would sabotage Drake. That's what would happen. Them dudes hate each other.
They have one song together, right?
What's the song? Is it Find Your Love? Is that
No, pop style.
And how long was Kanye on the song? How many lines did he have? How many words did he
Well,
have?
no, Kanye had the longest. Jay-Z had one line. But
Oh
Kanye
yeah, Jay-Z had one line.
I
Kanye
forgot
had the whole
about
verse.
that.
Oh yeah, I think Drake said.
It wasn't that good.
I think Drake wrote it for Kanye too. Remember he said that on the disc?
That's
Remember
it.
the disc
Yeah,
again?
he
I
did.
think he said that. Remember he said that? I pop style, man. We talked about that. Whatever. Okay.
Okay, so do you want to do Billboard highlights and then wrap this bad boy up?
Wrap this bad boy up.
So not much has changed on the Hot 100. Olivia Rodrigo, I'm pretty sure, still number 1 for like the 8th week. She
7.
blocked the remix of the Ariana Grande song and Up, and yeah, doing her thing.
You know what's so crazy? The last time we had an episode. You know what's so crazy? People came at us about the cancel culture stuff. Somebody came at us, a little Morgan Wallen fam account.
Right.
They came at us. Nnamdi was probably like, "Oh, go watch the episode and come back."
I was just like, rewatch this and then like actually comment. Like, what are you doing? Because the comment didn't make sense to what we were saying. They just were being mad to be mad.
It's
I like
funny.
it. It's so funny, but it's so crazy. We're talking about cancel people, and Chris Brown has a number 3 song in the country right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Literally.
So it's pretty freaking crazy. I still haven't driver's license. I only heard the song from like memes and stuff like that. I haven't heard like the full
I
song.
still have not sit down and watch the video or listen to the song, but it's such a force. Maybe they're playing it on radio a lot.
Now,
Y'all should listen. It's a TikTok thing too, but it's really
Yeah.
good.
Now Cardi B, bro, her album's about to be huge, bro. She got 2 incredible singles that are incredibly well. And Up, I agree with Nnamdi. Up is better than
that was a hot take 2 weeks ago. So just
Yeah, no,
there you
No,
go.
disagree.
I didn't think it was a hot take. I said it's not gonna be as popular, but Up is still super popular in itself. It's a trend now.
I like Up more than I like WAP.
I agree. And Cardi B showed out on there. She's doing her thing on there. So Cardi B's come a long way. Weekend's still standing strong. Weekend's never gonna leave the Hot 100.
Yeah, he's still 4 and 5. Blinding Lights is, I believe, now the best charting song like this century. Is this that I saw?
Yeah, it is. It's just insane.
It's 64 weeks and it's still in the top 5. Save Your Tears is moving up too. So I'm telling you, some of these tracks are really kind of just doing the thing. But there's ultimately not that much new entry into here. Calling My Phone, Little TJ. Y'all listen to that? Featuring Black.
No. No.
I listened to this Pooh Shiesty song because we were like, "Who's Pooh Shiesty?"
Oh yeah, he's straight. He's from
That was
Memphis.
good. I messed with it.
He's straight. So, yeah. Oh, Good Days. Remember, SZA released a music video for Good Days, and the album's coming. It's got to come.
I think
'cause
that'll be next week that we see what are we predicting? What do we think the music video is gonna do for that song? 17 right now.
it's gonna go up because it's the music video. It's her like doing this dance. It's so crazy because the song's like a smooth R&B, and she's like dancing really hard.
Yeah.
And she previewed a little song at the end too. So the album's coming. We want it,
That
SZA.
song
We
was
coming.
good too. I
Yeah.
want that song at the end. That was really good.
SZA, album's coming. We're gonna review that probably too. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
So anyway, and then over on the global 200, which we don't talk about, but I want to talk about because of who charted on it. Kali Uchis, who we're a fan of.
oh yeah,
Avery, I have the link for the global in there too.
Okay.
yeah.
She debuted at number 29, and I haven't seen that much of her song or this album charting, so I just wanted to give that a shout out. It's Telepatia, which I think is also getting like a boost on TikTok as of recent. I want to say I saw that.
You know what's so interesting is I follow Kali Uchis on Instagram and Twitter, and she's always tweeting. You know, when artists tweet like, "Hey, I'm killing it on this chart. I'm number 1," and it's like, "Oh, you're number 1," and it's like the number 1 on like Apple charts or Apple R&B or Apple, you know. But it's really cool that people are really kind of getting into this Kali Uchis album. It's a late burn, which is a good thing.
I want to say it's 29 on there.
Yeah.
And I just hope it rises. And this is globally, so it's like even if your song isn't on the US list, we know it's kind of cool to be able to see that around the world people are showing it love. Driver's License has been number 1 on this chart too. So
yeah, Kali Uchis is amazing, dude. She's an incredible artist, honestly.
She's awesome.
She's an incredible artist. So more love from Kali Uchis. She needs to be more popular, honestly. So
for real.
yeah. So we'll see.
And then Morgan Wallen, for the trolls who replied to our canceled tweet.
You're still number 1.
He's number 1 this week, and he's going to be number 1 next week too. So it'll be 8 weeks at number 1 after his supposed cancellation. So there you have it, ladies and gents. That's how that story ended.
White privilege is something serious, bro. White privilege is something serious, bro. Absurd.
Projects of the week.
Avery, Delal.
It's all right. You know, I had to go back to what I think is Anderson .Paak's best album, Malibu.
Best
after
album.
listening to, yeah, I think it's his best album.
I agree.
I mean, he doesn't have a bad album.
Well, they're all
It's just-
good.
They're all good. So, but yeah, no, after Leave the Door Open, I was like, dang, Anderson .Paak's awesome. And I just went and listened to more Anderson .Paak. So,
Favorite songs on the project?
all the popular ones are awesome. Like,
Am I Wrong with Schoolboy?
Come Through,
Without You with Rhapsody?
Waters.
The Season,
The Waters, Nnamdi. Oh, The Waters. Yeah, that's a good one too. Come
There's
Down
not a
is
bad
just
song on this album.
Come Down is
great.
just crazy.
No, see,
Put Me
that's
Through.
Come Down should have been bigger. I always say
Come Down
that
should have been
it has
huge.
the potential
Anderson
to be
.Paak
like
should be bigger. Like,
a number, like
Got me hot.
Yeah, I don't understand why that wasn't the one.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Anyways, this is
man.
damn near a perfect album. So,
I mean, yeah, every song's good. Speaking of collabs, even though this is like producer, rapper collab, Bandana, Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's second project together. They're came out in 2019. I went to the show. It was incredible. It was awesome.
jealous.
It was awesome. Benny the Butcher, Conway, and then him. It was just gangster rap the whole time. It was awesome though. Yeah, man. Freddie Gibbs and Madlib did it again. Freddie Gibbs is like one of the best in the game right now. I don't know if you can name a rapper. I'm not gonna say he's the best, but I don't know if you can say anybody's rapping better than Freddie Gibbs. Like this, maybe Black Thought because he's just like the GOAT, but that's like about it.
He's just like the best. Yeah.
And Black Thought's on this album too. Standout songs for me: Fake Names, Palm Olive, of course. Giannis featuring Anderson .Paak. Oh my
so
god.
good.
Cataracts, Education with Yasin Bey and Black Thought. Yasin Bey, most def, same person. So yeah, same person. Yeah, great album, love it. And Nnamdi with the shocker.
Yeah, I love this
Yeah,
pick.
so I think I told you guys that I just watched Rocket Man. I watched it with my mom.
That's right. That's right.
It put me on like a Elton John like trip for a little bit. So I've actually been listening to Elton John a lot this last
I
week.
love that.
And I've decided one of my favorites is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And my favorite songs on it are the self-titled Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and then also Benny and the Jets, which is part of the reason I want to learn how to play the piano, because I'm just like, what a song.
You know, it's so crazy.
Shout out to the giants of the 70s and 80s.
It's so crazy because when my little brother was doing piano lessons, he used to always listen to this album for like when he was doing piano lessons. So it's interesting. So
I can see why. Like, I'd want to learn some how to play piano.
This just shows what kind of podcast we are. We got Anderson .Paak, who is like no genre.
Neo soul.
Then we got Freddie Gibbs, who's the gutter. It's not gutter, but smoothest gangster rap. And then we got freaking Elton John on here.
I love the GOAT. I love Elton John.
Elton John is one of the GOATs, man. He's an incredible artist. I think people don't talk about enough how difficult it is to play the piano and sing well. I don't think people talk about
at the level he does too. Like, he's an all-time great.
Who are the people? Elton John, Stevie Wonder, and Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys is incredible. Like, who else?
Billy Joel.
John Legend, Billy Joel. Who else? It's tough, man.
We're not thinking of Ray Charles.
Oh, Lady Gaga plays the piano.
Lady Gaga. But she's not. Lady Gaga's good, but she's not at the level of like those people. Those people are like master.
I'd say she is.
You think so?
Yeah, she's like she's really like a really, really good piano player.
I didn't know, but maybe I have to go. Did she do it on a lot of her albums though? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
like,
on a lot of her stuff.
Remember Alicia Keys played like two pianos at the same time and sang.
Alicia Keys is just amazing.
Awesome.
Alicia Keys is kind of getting underrated too in terms of her legacy. I think people forget because she came out when she was like 16.
Well, I realized that like what really like makes for like long-term impacts, like legend status in music, is the ability to transcend decades.
Yeah,
and that's hard. And Alicia Keys, I think she dominated 2000s, but like hasn't transcended as well as some of the other people. Like Beyonce will be remembered because she had like 90s, 2000s, and 10s like success.
Yeah, because you can literally see her in the 90s. You can see her in the early 2000s. You can literally see her in the 2010s.
Yeah.
Remember when Put a Ring on It was like, I feel like that was winning every award for 5 years. Seriously, I feel like, yo, how long has this song been out? Seriously, it's ridiculous. But yeah, man, artists are incredible, dude, when they're good. So I think we underrate. Seriously, you think about it like,
write that down. Is that an episode? Underrated artists.
Deserve
respect. Legacies left behind.
Legacies forgotten. Alicia Keys I think people need to put more respect on her name for real, because like she's been out since the late 90s and killing it still. Her album was good. Nnamdi loves that album.
No, don't try to support that album now when you wasn't.
Say the album was trash. Okay, you act like I just trashed the album. Did I?
See this that switch up Drake was talking about and
hold on, what
he's talking about?
When he was like, when I die, I'm gonna be at the Air Canada Center, and then he said, "Oh, and the real one's gonna be in the first couple rows." Y'all remember that line? Yeah, I remember the songs already.
The other line about y'all call like I dropped a classic, and now you're calling them sleepers.
That's the last line I was talking about.
Okay, what album is he talking about? Is he talking about Take Care? Because that's about it, bro. Okay,
no, I feel like he's talking about Scorpion. I really do think he's talking about Scorpion.
I think Take Care. I think Scorpion's his best-selling album, and it's like the one that is forgotten the most, bro. Nobody remembers Scorpion at all, bro.
Because like I don't think anyone called Take Care a sleeper.
Exactly. What's he talking about?
I think he's talking about Scorpion because I feel like people kind of like came at that when it came out.
This one, like LeBron, is like, man, I'm underrated. It's like, shut up, bro. Like,
LeBron would never say that. Oh,
yeah, he was like, put some respect on my people. Do respect you, bro. Like Drake, people, nobody sleeps on your
Drake. I want my damn respect too.
Yeah, you got it. Like nobody's sleeping on Drake albums. You know, he don't have a sleeper. He's like, man, nobody's streaming What's Next. Like, well, yeah, everybody is. So
now that we were done ranting into Drake, thank you for watching this episode. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Come back next week when we talk about something equally great, if not better, perhaps.
I'm ready for some music reviews. People drop music, man. We're ready for some music reviews.
We have some stuff in the pike.
Yeah, I'm saying for like we know what we're gonna review, but we want it to release so we can like listen and
hurry up.
Yeah, people need to hurry up. So yeah.
Okay, but we will see y'all next week. Thanks for watching or listening.